March 2011. The Syrian civil war, already 2 years underway, began as an anti-government protest. Some of the Syrian refugees sought safety in the neighboring countries of Lebanon, Turkey, and Iraq, and others made it here to Jatari, 1 hour north of Amman, Jordan. March 13, 2013. To the hope-starved residents of the refugee camp, an angel of mercy arrived. It was Dr. Billy Kim who visited this Jatari camp for the first time this past January. During his last visit to Jatari, he promised to donate 100 container shelters for the Syrian refugees. But to our surprise, today he brings 4 times that number, 400 container shelters, along with blankets. With these gifts, he encourages and comforts the wounded hearts.
That's Korea, okay?
Only 2 months ago, the situation here seemed bleak. What brought this drastic change?
Thank you.
On January 8th of 2013, Dr. Billy Kim, along with over 200 of FEBC Korea's staff, listeners, and their families, went on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land of Jordan and Israel. However, the weather unexpectedly took a turn for the worse the day after their arrival in Amman, Jordan. To further complicate matters, the Middle East's biggest snowstorm in 17 years started Wednesday the 9th, paralyzing operations in the city and preventing the group from even leaving the hotel.
중동 땅에서 눈과 비가 그렇게 많이 올 거라고 상상도 못하고 갔었는데요. 사실 그날은 페트라를 가기로 한 날이었는데요. 성지순례 단원들이 시간을 투자하고 또 거금을 투자해서 온 성지순례였는데 하루 일정을 그대로 소비한다는 것이 저희들에게는 큰 부담이었습니다.
희망의 세계가 있다.
Although the group didn't get to visit the historical site as planned, a revival service led by Dr. Billy Kim and his 2 sons, accompanied by a mini concert, was good enough to make up for the missed opportunity. January 10th, 2013, refugee camp in Jatari. Open sewers full of filthy waste. An ill elderly man lying in a tent. A girl draws seeping water from the water tank. In Jatari camp alone, there are 60,000 refugees who have escaped from Syria as the civil war worsened. Suddenly one day, the refugees who lost their homeland were living in tents provided by the UN. However, their tents are now damaged due to the torrential rain and large amounts of snow. Refugees are suffering from this tragedy. Collapsed tents that are submerged in water. The unbearable cold, too much for the bare feet to handle in the muddy ground. The fear seen in the eyes of the refugees due to despair is greater than the cold.
거기서 아우성 치고 하는 게 나중에 들어보니까 뭘 때문에 저렇게 아우성 치냐 하니까 오는 사람들이 말만 하지 뭘 우리한테 해주냐 하는 그런 아우성이에요.
After witnessing the tragic state of the Syrian refugees, Dr. Billy Kim and his group realized why God bound their feet with the snow and brought them here. What God revealed to Dr. Billy Kim and his group in Jatari camp was a similar scene in which we were miserably scarred and deserted during the Korean War. The period when devastation, hunger, and disease were so prevalent that nothing else could be seen. the relationship between a U.S. sergeant and little Billy during the Korean War. Billy Kim, who studied in the U.S. and became a world-renowned evangelist, had seen hope there.
그 컨테이너에서 사는 그 어린아이들이 예수 믿고 제2의 김장환이 돼가지고 시리아에서 아랍권에서 복음 전하는 하나님의 일꾼들이 10년, 20년 후에는 반드시 나올 것을 위해서 기도하고 여러분들의 돈을 좀.
At that time, we thought we heard God speaking to us. Give something to eat. That's how God moved Dr. Billy Kim's heart to promise 100 container shelters for the refugees. That particular night, the joint service of the Korean church in Jordan was on fire like never before, and amazingly, Shin Hyun-suk, the Korean ambassador to Jordan, decided to accept Jesus. A special live broadcast was held to raise funds for the Syrian refugees. Let's send container shelters, houses for them with love. What started out as a decision, made with a little bit of love, resulted in God's overflowing abundance, as in the 2 fish and 5 loaves miracle.
처음 계획하고 또 기한했을 때 모금액이 3억 3천만 원이었습니다. 이것도 사실은 이렇게 이루어질까 그렇게 생각을 했었거든요. 그런데 하나님께서 이루어가시는 그 과정을 보는데 얼마나 감사한지 모르겠어요. 그리고 이 시리아에 대한 관심도가 이렇게 높아져가는 걸 보면서 정말 모금방송 가운데 하나님께서 이렇게 역사하시는
받은 사랑이 너무 감사해서 조금이라도 나누고 싶은 동참할 수 있는 기회가 얼마나 감사한지 제 계획보다는 제 생각보다는 하나님께서는 또 다른 뜻이 있으시구나 하는 것을 제가 이번에 깨달았습니다.
네.
그곳이 바로 땅끝이고 선교가 굉장히 중요하고 급한 데다.
하나님께서 되게 또 그렇게 선한 사마리아인이 되라고 감동을 주셨어요.
아멘.
우리 예수님께서는 우리를 위해서 자신의 모든 것을 드렸습니다. 그분이 사랑하시는 저 먼 곳에는 있는 정말 헐벗고 굶주리고 그리고 기아와 공포 가운데서 정말 생명의 그 기로에 서 있는 그들에게 우리가 가진 것을 좀 나누어 줍시다.
After the live broadcast, the amount that was raised from the broadcast was a total of $1.7 million. The total amount raised was enough to buy as many as 400 container shelters. God's providence continued even after sending container shelters. As the ministry of FEBC Korea and Dr. Billy Kim became known throughout the media, one Korean company promised to provide 1,000 container shelters as a donation to society. Good People, an NGO organization, and FEBC Korea collaborated and were able to send $400,000 worth of daily necessities to the Jatari refugee camp.
در ازل پیش از آن که چیزی پدید آید کلمه وجود داشت و نزد خدا بود.
Back again in Jatari refugee camp. It's been 2 months since we returned to Korea with the vision that God has revealed to us. Dr. Billy Kim and Ambassador Shin Hyun-suk once again visited the refugee shelters and planted hope in the hearts of the refugees.
우리 6.25 동란 때 우리가 어려움 당했듯이 이런 사람들 좀 도와주고 그 다음에 한국이라고 하는 나라 다시 사람들이 한번 생각할 수 있는 좋은 동기가 될 것 같고요. 우리 대사님께서 캐러밴 집집마다 태극기를 붙여주셔서 참 한국 마을이 생긴 거에 대해서 여기 한국 대사관 대사님 직원들과 호익가 여러분들에게 진심으로 감사드립니다.
When they discerned God's direction and plans, they then obeyed and committed themselves to Him. God used them as the instrument of blessings. But isn't it a greater miracle for one soul to be saved? After 2 months of the fast-paced journey, Ambassador Shin and his wife accepted Jesus and were baptized. During the service at the Korean church in Jordan on Friday, March 15th, Ambassador Shin gave a testimony of his experience encountering God's grace.
작년 12월 말만 하여도 3개월 후에 이런 일이 있으리라고 누가 생각했습니까? 하나님께서 김장한 목사님을 통해서 저에게 신문을 시켜주시고 어제는 요단강에서 침례를 받음으로써 어제까지 살던 제가 저와 제 집사람이 다시 태어나는 그런 기적 같은 은혜를 받았습니다. 또 하나님의 축복과 은혜 속에서 하나님의 종으로 계속 살아있게 된 것을 기뻐하는 기쁨을 생각합니다.
감사합니다.
Seeds of hope were sown in the refugee camp. 400 seeds called the gospel. God's heart was sown by us. It was God's intent to love the land on which Jesus walked and to have even one soul return to Him. The children now have new homes. The container shelters display the Korean flag flying proudly. The children who are raised here will feel and remember the love of Christ, who came 2,000 years ago and who will come back again. I believe that one day these children will rise up as evangelists and proclaim the gospel in this land and to the world. The seed of the gospel sown by FEBC Korea, Korean Village. Here, where barred doors open, the seed of the gospel will sprout. This little seed of love will connect Jordan to the Syrian refugees, and will look forward to seeing more of God's miracles.